pads. And if we go to our presets menu and just go down and grab a very simple pad from the list, I'm going to use the PD chill pad, which is very simple. The only thing I think it needs is just a bit of brightness. So if we just go to Live Devices, drop in an EQ8, that's going to go to the 4th point and just give it a bit of a signal gain or a signal boost by pushing up the gain. And then if we just change it to a high shelf instead of a bell curve, that'll just boost everything in that sort of upper range. And with the pads, we're just going to play the similar notes to what we've got playing in the soft synth here. I'm just going to sequence out a 8-bar loop. Just drag across our 8 bars. I'll actually just copy down what we've got here from the soft synth. And if we double click into it, and I'm just going to change it slightly. Instead of going up to this E note, the 4th, it's going to delete that, and I'm going to let it just drop from F3 down to C3, and then back to F3. And then for the final 2 bars, I'm going to leave the G in, but I'm going to move it. I'm going to move the C4 up, leave the C4 at up an octave, take out the E4, so leave the G3 and C4 playing together. Okay, so I think I'm going to move the G3 up an octave so that it's playing on G4. I think it sounded better down on G3 actually, so I'll keep it there and listen back one more time. And we'll maybe even put in another note, maybe leave in the E4 and play that chord and see how it sounds. Okay, so that sounds great. I'm just going to put a low pass on this, or a high pass rather, just to remove any low end, because we're going to bring our bass in. So I'm going to set it maybe about 300 Hertz. I'm going to bring the volume of this track back as well. Okay, so we're going to bring in a bass to play alongside this as well. So we add in another audio track. It's going to rename it. It's called Bass. And then if we go to our devices, I'm going to bring in a Vanguard for this. I'm going to bring in a almost detuned bass from the presets. So we just load up the presets and go down to the LD Moonraker 1. And I'm just going to copy down the soft synth to play the same notes here just to see how it sounds. Okay, so I'm actually going to, sorry, I brought down the pad version there. I'm going to bring down the soft synth. We're just going to have this looping around 4 bars because we don't want it to change for the 8th bar. So it's going to loop around the first 4, so just the F3, C3 and E3. And we're going to have to bring it down a couple octaves just to play in the low range. So bring these notes down. Okay, so instead of playing on the F note here, I'm just going to move it up a few notes, a few semitones. I'm going to start the root note on A sharp 1. And I'm going to to bring the one that was playing on F1 then, after you move that, to G1. And then I'm just going to solo this, and I'm going to open up the Vanguard and just change a couple settings. I don't want the initial click of this to play, so I'm just going to move the attack time back on the envelopes. You can hear there's a bit of modulation going on there as well, just as it plays. So I'm just going to move back this pulse wave modulation so that that doesn't happen. I'll listen back with a tune now. Okay, so I'm just going to bring the volume back on that track then, just to finish. And then I'm just going to bring in a couple of sweeps and crashes from our previous setup here. So we've got this reverse vocal. I'm just going to copy that across to reverse into the change here at bar 123, along with the filter noise and the crash here. And then I think we need to put in a kick drum just to crash there alongside that crash cymbal. So if we go up to our drum machine, I'm just going to put in a quick quarter of a bar. So just insert a MIDI clip and double click on it, and then we're just going to put in a kick drum on this first beat, and we'll use kick 1, and we'll use the main clubby kick, or the main hard kick for the body from that as well. So we'll just leave out the kick clubby. We don't want really that distortion sound. Okay, so we can just make that the entire length of that, and we can use that later on if we need to. So I'm just going to move this filter noise and crash over to the end as well here. So if we just grab the filter noise and reverse vocal, I'll move it right over to bar 155 where we go into the drop section. So I'm just going to drop that there. And then I'll put a couple of crashes at these change sections here. So I'm just going to grab the crash, drop it just at this change, and also here at 147. And then at bar 139 we'll just copy this kick crash as well, so copy and paste that to play alongside our crash sound. And then for this entire section here, I'm just going to bring the hats back in again. So if I just create a 1 bar loop here. So just go to create, insert MIDI clip. And if we go to our closed hat, I'm just going to put it on. Or in between every kick drum rather. Sorry, I had that off place. So in between every kick drum. Let's just drag it right the way out. Have it starting after our kick here. And just at this section, we're going to have 3 kick drums sort of hitting just before a final kick drum at the 155. So I can copy across our kick drum hit from before into this drop section, and then I'm just going to insert a MIDI clip just before that. So I'll just make it a 1-bar loop. Need to get rid of this tail. So if we just go to insert MIDI clip, and I'm going to hit 3 drums hitting at this section. I'll just loop it around so we can draw it in. So we'll have it playing the first kick just here halfway through this bar. So that'll be here on this MIDI clip, and we'll play it with our kick 1 and again our hard kick. Okay, so we're just going to copy that that sort of triplet kick drum across to come in just before the chain section here at bar 139 as well. And our hats up play out. We can just move this up close to our kick drums. Okay, so that's the kick drums put in, and put a pad in and a bass line to play alongside that. In the next tutorial, we're going to bring in another trancey synth to build up right through this section here. That's just going to drop out at this drop section.